Chapter 4. Oh boy. April 1867. Oh, hey, look, Okita! Cherry blossoms have bloomed. They're magnificent, look! Oh, wait, this is, we find Kaoru and we chase after her, and Okita has some terrible coughing fits, and as much as I love doing those, my poor sick boy, we'll skip through this. Don't really know if we're gonna run into Kaoru on this route much either. Very suspicious person. Okay, and then you're gonna have a coughing fit soon. Yeah, there it is. Oh, and then that Fury is gonna break into my room now. Well, time to do this again. After all, Heisuke does run to the rescue, and it sets the stage for them leaving. That night, after everyone else had gone to bed, I lay awake thinking about what had happened. I couldn't forget what Okita had said. A useless kid. He was right. Compared to the captain's... no. Even compared to the weakest Shinsengumi foot soldier, I was pathetic. I had been lying there staring at the ceiling. My actions today were no doubt reckless. I mean, if this happened a little while ago, I'm sure I would have been killed, no questions asked. The fact that I got away with just a lecture shows that they're starting to trust me a little more, but I couldn't go on like this. Tomorrow I start working harder. But no sooner had I closed my eyes. What? There was a crash from the hallway outside my room. I rolled up and out of my bed just as the door exploded into my room. Standing in the hole was one of the Shinsengumi soldiers. Is something wrong? I called out to him, despite being incredibly alert and guarded, but the soldier remained quiet. Did you need something? Blood. Huh? I squinted to get a clearer picture. Just then, his hair instantly turned white. Blood. I need blood. His eyes were ominously red, and he looked directly at me. He was one of the Furies. Give me blood! To top it off, he was completely mad. Just like the warrior I saw that one night in Kyoto. I had to call for help. I couldn't possibly face a deranged superhuman monster on my own. I inhaled, preparing to call for help. No, I couldn't call for help. If I did, then I could risk jeopardizing the Shinsengumi secret about the Furies. That would spell disaster for the Shinsengumi. I had to find another way. The Fury, unfortunately, was not similarly encumbered by doubts. Ah! His sword hissed through the air, and I felt the metal of its blade burn into the flesh of my arm. Gah! A sharp pain seared into thought from my wound. The Fury saw my blood dripping, and his eyes became even more mad. Blood sprang from the cut. I pressed down on it desperately with my free hand, but to no avail. Thick red liquid spilled between my fingers, fled down my arm and onto the floor. Yes. Blood. Give me blood. The Fury became increasingly erratic, and he started licking the blood-stained sword. He began to creep toward me, his movements odd and jerky, like a massive spider. Oh no! My back slammed against the wall. I'm going to die. Just when I prepared myself for death, I suddenly remembered Okita's words from earlier that day. Stop being so timid. You can rely on us when you need to. Okita, everyone. Someone! Help! Blood! Blood! He was down on his hands and knees, licking my spilt blood off the floor. There was no samurai there. It seemed what little humanity he had left him entirely. I used this distraction to gain distance from him. Please, I beg to any god who might be listening, let someone come. Not enough. Not enough! He looked up from the floor. My sleeve was soaked in blood from the cut on my arm. His eyes locked onto it, and I saw them light up with animalistic hunger. His grin was a nightmarish thing. Yes, that! Give me more of your blood! He kicked the floor roughly and came charging at me. No! There was no doubt he was going to kill me. I froze. Get down! Don't look up until I tell you to! I heard a voice from nearby, and I immediately followed the orders and ducked. Grah! The Fury seemed to be shocked to see Hijikata coming out of nowhere. The Fury spun to attack Hijikata, but the commander's sword was faster. Ah! His twisted cry reverberated from the room's walls. Grah! He writhed in agony, but his wound started to heal immediately. Get over here, now! Yes! As I ran to his side, I heard other footsteps pounding down the hallways. You alright, Chizuru? Hey! Isn't he? He's the warrior who had to drink the water of life the other day. He's too far gone. We can't let him live. At some unspoken signal, a chorus of blades slid from their scabbards. Shin! Sano! Don't screw this up! Who the hell do you think we are, Heisuke? If a captain can't take out a simple soldier, even if he is a Fury, he'd have to resign. Assuming he wasn't dead. They fanned quickly, circling the wounded soldier. There was no escape. No hard feelings. Ah! The captains all attacked at once, and the Fury was killed almost instantly. The excitement was over. Or so I thought. But it hadn't been only the captains who'd heard my cry for help.
Oh, who's causing such a ruckus at this hour of night?
Ito! Ito rubbed his still sleepy eyes, stepped into the room, and froze.
What's going on here?
Damn it.
I've seen that soldier before. I thought he was sentenced to death the other day for breaking the code. And look at all of this blood. Are you guys responsible for this?
Ito, it's not like that. This is...
What is it not like? Why have our captains cut down one of their own men? Explain this at once. What happened here?
Ito was fuming and screaming. My apologies. My lack of discipline is at fault here. Sanan? Seeing Sanan, Ito's eyes grew wide.
Sanan? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be dead.
The captains fell silent. Eventually. I guess we can't keep it a secret any longer. Yukimura, you step out. You can use my room for the night. I know me being here won't do anything, but I wonder if they'll be alright. Would they be able to explain the situation enough to Ito so that he wouldn't freak out? There was so much to worry about, but Hijikata looked at me sternly. Did you not hear me? I said get out. Okay. I was worried, but I knew there was nothing else I could do, so I left the room. Boy, here we go. Huh? Is it morning already? The birds chirping woke me up. I shot up, thrown off initially because the ceiling was unfamiliar to me. I remembered that Hijikata had told me to stay in his room for the night. And at the same time, the events of last night were beginning to flood into my mind. The warrior who'd gone mad. The pain of the blade slicing my arm. I touched my right arm wrapped in bandages. I couldn't feel a throbbing pain anymore, so I took off my bandage to see my injury. Of course, it's healed. What had been an ugly open wound the night before was now little more than a faint white line. In a few days, even that would be gone. I wouldn't need my bandages anymore, but... well, I guess it's good that the wound is gone, but if anyone sees this... I wrapped myself back up again. It'll be inconvenient to wear, but I'm going to pretend to still have this injury. I wonder what everyone is doing. I decided I'd head to the common room to see what's going on.
Oh, you.
Ito, Miki, and Saito and Heisuke. What are you guys doing so early in the morning?
Well, considering what happened last night, I'm not a heavy enough sleeper to have the kind of beauty sleep I'd need with that noise. You were injured, right, Yukimura? How's your injured arm doing?
Well, it's not that bad.
Is that so? Well, I'm glad.
Huh? His mood was almost the polar opposite of the previous night. He seemed now to be in rather high spirits. Ito, has something happened?
Oh, would you like to know?
Yes.
I won't tell you, but I suppose you might have an idea, though. Isn't that right, Saito?
What? I cocked an eyebrow at Heisuke and Saito. Yeah, I guess. The moment our eyes met, he looked away. That seemed odd. Saito? You have no need for this information just now. Unlike his companion, Saito met my gaze straight on, but his eyes were flat and utterly devoid of any emotion. It was as if he put up a wall. What the hell? That's a little cold of you, having that pass for a goodbye, isn't it? Or did you want to get out of here as soon as possible or something? Get out of here?
Saburo, watch your mouth. We'll be on our way now. Good day, Yukimura.
Goodbye, Yukimura. Later. And then they were gone, leaving me wondering just what had happened.
Oh, hey, Yukimura. Are you sure it's all right for you to be up and about already?
I'm fine. I slept really well, and I feel a lot better. And my wound doesn't seem to be as deep as it looked.
That's great. I'm sorry about what happened to you, though.
It's all right. Anyways, I ran into Ito on my way here. He was acting very peculiar. Did something happen? Inoue and Shimada looked at one another, both wearing troubled expressions.
Ah, so you saw them, eh?
Both Ito and Miki were behaving rather strangely. And Heisuke and Saito were acting kind of strangely, too. I was starting to feel concerned, looking at the two of them for an answer. After some thought, Shimada opened up.
Yeah. Well, Ito and some others are leaving.
What? Leave?
They're going to form a new group, different from the Shinsengumi.
Is that okay?
He had a meeting this morning with the Chief and Commander Hijikata.
Guardians of the Imperial, too? Yes. I intend to take some of my comrades and leave. We will be appointed official guardians of the Imperial Mausoleum. I have been considering such a move for some time now. But after last night's excitement, I didn't think it'd work out anymore. I knew when I joined the Shinsengumi that my imperialism might not be welcome, but I thought we could work past that. I see now that I was mistaken.
Just spit it out, Ito. Basically, you want to split up the Shinsengumi.
Who's the one that has been deceiving me for the past 3 years?
If you insist, then I will do as you ask. You must remember, however, that last night's incident is a result of orders from the shogunate. We cannot allow you to reveal this secret.
Then I propose a deal. Allow me to depart, peacefully, that is, and in turn I will remain silent. I also wish to bring several of your men with me.
Very well. But anyone you wish to take must agree to leave.
Of course. I will naturally maintain the fiction that we intend to continue to cooperate with one another. A stance that will no doubt benefit both of us.
Cooperation. Fine. Toshi, what do you think? It's your decision, not mine.
Then, Heisuke and Saito.
Yes, they are leaving with Ito. I confess I'm rather surprised. I mean, I understand Heisuke since he's known Ito for some time, but I was not expecting it from Saito.
No. Then, would that mean I could never see them again?
Don't worry. Remember what I said? We're going to keep relations amicable between our two organizations.
Kondo. It was kind of him to try and comfort me, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible was going to befall the Shinsengumi and its members.
You aren't going to let the men interact with the guard, though, right?
Of course not. He gets to leave, but that doesn't mean I'm going to let him get away with whatever he wants.
But, is this really okay? Ito and the others leaving, I mean.
Ito and his men leaving isn't a problem. Although I was a little surprised that Heisuke and Saito decided to go with that snake. I would say it was more than a little. But I guess all of this comes from our own faults, and our inability to keep them happy.
From there, the conversation moved to a discussion of politics that was beyond my ability to follow. And what could I have said anyway? The decision had been made, and there was nothing I could have said to change it. I got up quietly and left the common room. I never thought something like this could happen. I looked up to the sky, watching the clouds form in streaks above me, and then lowered my gaze. It seemed like just yesterday that we were all living our normal lives at the compounds, having snowball fights. Then all of a sudden we've arrived at today, helpless as our troops split amongst themselves. I couldn't wrap my head around it. However, even with all of my confusion, I was especially worried about the guard, right? The guard. What worried me most were the people leaving with Ito, Heisuke, and Saito. Would I ever get to see them again? Was this goodbye? I wanted to know what they were thinking. Were they still around? As I stood up to go look for them, I spotted Yamazaki walking toward me.
Yukimura,
Oh, Yamazaki.
I heard you were injured. Are you feeling better?
Yes, I'm fine. Have you, seen Heisuke and Saito?
Toto and Saito.
His expression turned grim at the mention of their names. It was quite clear how he felt about the men who'd chosen to leave the Shinsengumi with Ito. Sorry for asking. I turned quickly to leave, but he held out a hand to stop me.
I saw them going off that way.
Thanks.
If you want to speak with them, do it soon. Once they've left, you won't be allowed to talk to them.
Yes. There they were. Heisuke! Saito! They turned around with reserved expressions.
Haha. Well, shoot. Looks like you found us.
Oh. Did you want to be left alone? I can go.
No, of course not. I wanted to talk to you too.
Good.
I imagined we'd see you before we left. If you have something to say, say it.
Right. I just wanted to hear it from you. Why are you leaving the Shinsengumi?
Why, huh?
He scrunched up his face and scratched nervously at the side of his nose.
Well, Ito and I are from the same school. He's my senior, obviously. He joined the Shinsengumi at first because I invited him. So I feel like I'm kinda obligated to stick with him, you know? I guess that's it.
Heisuke had always struck me as kind, so it was no surprise that he felt he couldn't abandon Ito. But that means you'll leave everyone else behind. You might not ever get to see them again.
I'm not really one of Ito's followers, I guess you might say, but I was and am an imperialist. It wasn't like I'd grown up wanting to work under the shogunate or something. And considering what's going on with the serum, it just kinda seems like working for somebody like the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb is a better fit for me than working for the shogunate.
I couldn't really think of anything to say, so I kept my mouth shut. After a moment, he continued.
I'd wanted to just stay here and screw around and have fun with the guys. I mean, we've been together for quite a while, right?
His gaze drifted off into the distance, and his profile seemed almost heartbreakingly lonely, but his mouth was a hard line. His mind was made up. What about you, Saito? I looked up at him.
Joining Ito and his men serves my own ambition.
Are you an imperialist too?
A leader who hopes to unify his people should be one who overcomes any external threats. If the shogunate forgets its essential role, which is keeping its people safe by expelling all foreign influence, then I have no reason to work for them.
So you're saying that Kondo and Hijikata are wrong?
That's right.
And because you don't agree with them, you're willing to walk away and never see them again?
It can't be helped. In order to go with what I believe in, I mustn't be swayed by emotions.
But this time around. Are you sure you won't change your mind? Stay here with the Shinsengumi? I can't be the only person who doesn't want you to go. We all like you. Are the Shinsengumi your friends? I knew they had their reasons to go, but I had my own reasons, and I wanted them to stay. There was still time. If I could just convince them, make them understand, then they wouldn't have to go away. Please! Heisuke! Saito!
Don't say that. It took a long time, and a lot of hard thinking to make this decision. Is that all you had to say? Then please excuse me.
Are you sure? But if you go, then you might have to... You might have to fight the Shinsengumi someday.
As I said, my ambition comes before my emotions.
Saito! But his mind was made up. Sweet bean. There was nothing I could say to change it.
He's sure tough.
His eyes followed Saito as he walked away.
Do you feel the same way? Can you just forget about your feelings? Would it be so easy for you to fight your friends?
He screwed up his face in frustration. Heisuke was honest and straightforward, but he didn't have a way with words the way some of the other men did.
Hey, why don't we go to the courtyard?
He wasn't avoiding my question precisely. Perhaps he wanted to buy some time to think about his response. All right, let's go. I'm game.
It's, gotten really warm.
He lifted his face to the sky for a moment. It was a cool, clear blue, and warm rays of sunlight washed down on us.
Let's sit down here.
Okay. I lowered myself down next to him.
I know that, well, pretty much everybody doesn't like Ito very much. But I don't really think he's wrong, at least not completely. Honestly, I don't think there's much of a future if we continue doing what the shogunate says. I'm sure we're only disposable pawns for the shogunate's higher-ups.
I'm sure he's not. Considering the serum and everything else. I don't blame them for questioning and having concerns about the shogunate. But not wrong and trustworthy were two very different things. Was he really worth leaving the Shinsengumi? I wonder if he's thinking that joining Ito will turn out better for him than staying with Kondo.
I spent a lot of time talking with Ito. About the corruption in the shogunate, and just how bad of a state that Japan is in right now. Of course, I don't think Ito is right about everything. But I do think that Ito is taking a lot of what's going on right now into consideration.
Then...
I mean, you know. After seeing how Ito reacted last night, it opened my eyes. Using your comrades, men who fight tooth and nail beside you, as tools for experimentation. Then on top of that, keeping it a secret from people you work with is just plain wrong. I think before we knew it, we all stopped questioning these things and it all became part of our protocol.
Heisuke.
I just want you to know one thing, though. It doesn't mean I don't like the guys anymore. I just want you to know that much.
Yeah. I understand where Heisuke is coming from. I was sure he had spent a lot of time thinking over all of this, even maybe stressing over it. If, after all of that internal deliberation, this was how he felt, I'd want him to honor it. But... I know, I wanted you to... I wanted to stay with you longer, Heisuke.
Yeah. Thanks. It's nice to know you feel like that. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I'm not gonna be sad to leave you, but that, doesn't mean that, look, this is hard for both of us, okay? But it's something I gotta do. I'm a man, too.
I could clearly tell he was wavering. Pushing my feelings on him, I knew would only trouble him. I understand, Heisuke. So I wasn't the only one who would feel the loneliness of being apart then. In some strange way, that made me happy. Aw. You guys.
And... thanks for everything, Chizuru.
Thank you for telling me how you really feel. I appreciate it. Aw. So open and honest with each other, you're making me all sad.
Huh. Glad to hear it. I just wanted to, you know, make sure we were clear on that.
It felt like our conversation had lifted a huge burden on Heisuke, and his bright smile returned.
Oh, and also, I'm sorry.
Huh?
Sorry that I can't stick around to help you find your dad, I mean.
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Just... be careful, Heisuke.
Yeah, I know. I won't throw my life away. I promise.
My wound healed completely soon afterward, but I kept the bandages on.
I didn't want anyone to see that my scar had healed, and that there was a new scar on my heart, as my boy's gone. Since Ito, Heisuke, and Saito all left, the compounds felt so much larger and emptier. Around the same time, Takeda, one of the captains of the Shinsengumi, had also left. I guess these are things we can't help, but it felt as if everyone was going in different directions, off to forge their own paths. I couldn't help but feel sad about it.